I'd like to call the Jackson County Board of Commissioners meeting for August 21st, 2012. The invocation being led by Commissioner Jonathan Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Please rise. Lord, we come before you today to first thank you for this wonderful gift you've given us, this blessing of life, this miracle. Please, with that, give us the wisdom not to squander it. Give us the wisdom to make good choices for the others that we serve. Make sure that if you have the chance, you take care of those individuals who are fighting for the right causes. Give us the wisdom to make smart choices when it comes to the finances that future generations will have to pay. We ask all this in your name. Amen.
At this time, I would like to ask Kaylee Duckham to come forward, please. Recognizing the youth of Jackson County that display the values of integrity, leadership, and collaboration, responsibility, and/or accountability, the Board of Commissioners of Jackson would like to ask Kaylee Duckham to begin this meeting by leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Kaylee?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all.
Good job.
Thank you, Kaylee. Kaylee will be attending the third grade at Columbia Elementary this fall. She spends her free time playing basketball and dancing and attending the Brooklyn Presbyterian Church. She also volunteers with the Junior Chamber of Commerce, assisting with Crazy Bowl and the Grand Prix in 2011. Kaylee earned a first place in the Jackson District Library's Young Poets Contest. Thank you, Kaylee. Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Commissioner Hurl? Commissioner Lechka? Commissioner Rice?
Here.
Commissioner Duckham? Commissioner Alexander?
Present.
Commissioner Vitito?
Here.
Commissioner Mahoney? Here. Commissioner Williams?
I'm present.
Commissioner Smith? Commissioner Way? Here. Commissioner Elwell? Here. Chairman Commissioner Shotwell?
Present.
Thank you.
At this time, I would ask commissioners to review the agenda, and I would like to entertain a motion of approval.
Support.
We have a motion in support, Commissioner Duckham and Commissioner Rice. Any items for removal? Seeing none, all in favor of the agenda? Aye. Opposed? Duly carried. We have no awards and recognition to come before the Board of Commissioners. Communications and petitions, please present them to the clerk. Seeing none, we have no special hearings, we have no special orders or public hearings. We arrived at your first chance for public comment. I would ask Chief District Court Judge Mazur to come forward and introduce his guest.
Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm Darrell Mazur, the Chief Judge of the 12th District Court. I've had an opportunity over the years, Chief Judge 8 years now, to stand before you at various times which were perhaps not as fortuitous as the one that I have here this afternoon or this evening. I'm here to present our newest judge, appointed by Governor Snyder within the last 90 days. Dan was appointed to the bench mid-April to fill the vacancy, obviously, that was occurred by the removal of Judge Justin. Dan brings with him a good family background, a good basis in civil law, so we're teaching him a lot about the criminal law. About 20 years of experience, reputation, and a history that spans his entire lifetime with this community. He's been a great addition to the bench at this point in time. He seems to grasp things very well. He's got a very energetic staff, and he shows a lot of enthusiasm for his job. I think he's going to make an excellent addition and hopefully even find himself in a position like myself as the Chief Judge presenting the District Court. With that, I would like to present to you Mr. and Judge Dan Goostree.
Thank you, and thank you, Judge, for giving me this opportunity. I just wanted to introduce myself for those of you who didn't know me. It's been the end of my third month on the bench, and things are going very well. It took a little while for my staff and I to get our feet underneath us because everybody was brand new to the position. My secretary came with me from private practice. My court officer was a brand new court officer, so the learning curve was very steep for the first 60 days, but we're finally doing things, I feel, at a good pace. Our docket's filling up, and I'm just very happy to be in this position, and I look forward to working with all of you in the future, and I welcome any of you to come either contact me or stop by my office at any time if you have any questions regarding what's going on in the court. And as Judge Mazur did say, I was born and raised in Jackson. I've lived here all my life, and I just welcome the opportunity to serve the community. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Good evening.
Any other public comment?
Good evening, John Wilson, candidate, County Commission, District 8. The decision on whether the current board or the incoming board should make the determination as to what type of committee system, if any at all, the next board will have will be a decision this board will vote on. Commissioner Elwell has requested the candidates for County Commission provide input. I respectfully accept that. My suggestion would be to eliminate the 4 standing committees and replace it with a committee of the whole that would meet once per month in addition to the regular monthly board meeting. In my opinion, the current practice of standing committees runs short of a true democratic process in dealing with county issues. Rather than just going on the recommendations of 3, 4, or 5 commission members of a certain standing committee, a committee of a whole would hopefully instead entice discussion and debate that could include the whole board. At the request of the County Commission, all county agency directors, other government groups, or nonprofits who receive county funding would be required to attend and give financial updates or any other information requested to the committee of the whole. While there are pros and cons to any one of the committee options or non-committee option, I believe a committee of the whole system of county government would adhere best to the legislative process. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Any other public comment? Public comment is now closed. We have no special meetings of any standing committees. So at this time, I would entertain a motion upon review of the minutes of the July 17th, 2012 regular meeting. Have a motion and support. Any corrections or questions? Commissioner Mahoney and Commissioner Williams made the motion and supported it. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Duly carried. We've now arrived at the consent agenda.
I'd move the consent agenda, Mr. Chairman.
Have a motion from Commissioner Hurl and a support from Commissioner Rice. Any items to be removed from the consent agenda at this time? Hearing none, let's use our lights to vote, please. The consent agenda passed 10-0. We now arrived at standing committees. Standing committees for county policy, chaired by Commissioner David Elwell. Commissioner Elwell?
Nothing to report, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
County affairs and agencies, chaired by Commissioner David Lechka, vice chaired by, I believe, Commissioner Pearl, if I'm not mistaken. No, Commissioner Duckham, I apologize. Commissioner Duckham? Thank you, Commissioner. Human Services, chaired by Commissioner Jonathan Williams.
Mr. Chairman, we have no business coming before the board this evening.
Personnel and Finance, Commissioner Jim Vitito.
No further business this evening. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Any unfinished business to be brought before the Board of Commissioners? Hearing none, we now have arrived at new business. The naming of the representation for the ad hoc committee has assigned by the Board of Commissioners. I ask the board to recognize Commissioner David Elwell, Commissioner Jim Vitito, Commissioner David Lechka, and Chairman Shotwell to serve on that committee as your commissioner representatives. Can I have a motion, please, to that support?
I'd like to make that motion.
We have a motion and support. Any comments from commissioners? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? To add to that ad hoc committee, in the past, we have designated the supervisors to join us, and I would ask that they recognize Supervisor Jim Dunn, Supervisor Larry Bam, and Supervisor John Tallis. I have a motion from Commissioner Mahoney, support from Commissioner Duckham. Any comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? I do have an item that I apologize that we did not put on the agenda at the beginning of the meeting. I would ask for a motion to accept the resolution of acceptance of the MNRTF acquisition grant, and please put it on the agenda at this time.
So moved.
We have a motion and support to add item to the agenda. We'll make that item 15B. All in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Duly carried. The motion requested is the approval of the proposed resolution accepting the terms and conditions of a product agreement for the Sparks Park Intercity Trail Connector Acquisition Grant TF11-085. Do we have any commissioners that have questions? Commissioner Elwell.
Chairman, just a quick comment, really. I read through it briefly, and I called Commissioner Way to get his input on it. It's, I think, 40 acres, if I've read it right, and I think it's important to note that it's linear acres, not a 40-acre group. Mike was able to clarify that for me. I don't know if we need Brandon to speak to it. Might not be a bad idea, but we got it last minute, so maybe Brandon can. I did not get the map.
Could the Parks Director please approach the microphone?
Mr. Chairman, I'm also told that Mike had Brandon send out a map, but I didn't happen to get mine, I guess, so.
Sorry, I apologize. Here's the map. So,
I saw that.
yes, this is a grant that went through in 2011 through the grant cycle through the Natural Resources Trust Fund. It came before this body for approval before we submitted that application. It's plus or minus 40 acres to acquire, runs between Kibbe Road and back to the Intercity Trail. Obviously, our objective here is to connect Cascades Park with the Intercity Trail, and that that trail network spine. And so this resolution, and I apologize for it coming in on the tail end. I just got the notification last Tuesday, which was after our committees met last week, and with the essence of time, and for some other details that we've got out there with our development grant that is currently being considered by the trust fund board. We need to get this acquired by October 1st, if at all possible. And so that's why we brought it in short order. So I apologize for that, but this will give us a fighting chance to get that property acquired by October 1.
Brandon, I'd ask that you, I guess, use your finger or whatever to show kind of where the trail's going to run along that property.
Sure. Basically, what we're looking at is, this is the park over here, this is the 13th fairway you see up here in the corner, but basic outline of the trail will be to follow. You can see a little bit, this property was going to be developed into housing some 5 or 6 years ago, and they actually started to clear it for that purpose, and so that's that drive that you see, kind of the circular outline. But what we'll be looking to do is kind of hug this property line, and at some point, kind of shift over to the other side. Our intent really is not to develop this property per se, but just to get that connection through, and then really establish really enhance the aspects, the natural aspects we have on this property. It's a nice piece of property. It's got a little bit of everything back down in here. It's got some wetland. We'll be skirting the edge of that, but it probably will require some boardwalk. It's got some hardwoods and it's got some grasses that we'll be looking to enhance through the development portion of the project. But in a nutshell, we'll be making the connection right here across Kibbe, and you can see where it goes from 4-lane to 2-lane. And then down across the property, we'll hug this southern boundary, and then we'll cut across and make the connection down here at the intercity trail.
If I'm not mistaken, some of that property is also owned by the Jackson Public Schools.
That's correct.
They're partnering with us, so this is a multi-jurisdictional partnering.
That is correct. Not only we're working with the city, with the intercity trail, but also with JPS, and we've yet to finalize with JPS if they want to do an outright sale or an easement, but they have indicated support for the project.
And so that the community is also aware, $187,500 is going to come from the trust fund established with the Michigan Department of Natural Resources, and the remaining 25%, or $62,500, is being donated by local donations. Is that correct, Brandon?
That is correct.
So there's not any county money actually being spent right now on this project?
That is correct.
Okay. Any commissioner questions? Commissioner Duckham.
To be correct there, so I understand it completely, all we're going to do is run the trail through there and the boardwalk through there, the rest of the properties we left for green space?
That is accurate, yes. So half of the project really was to protect that green belt or that green space, yes.
Good idea, thanks.
Any other commissioner comments? Seeing none, let's use our lights to vote. Oh, you cleared it completely. We gotta go back and sign it. Be patient. Okay. Resolution passes 10-0. Thank you very much, Brandon, for your
Thank you.
explanation.
Neighbor set up there for some reason.
We've now arrived at the second round of public comment. If anyone would like to address the board, please do.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. My name is John Plochik. I live at 801 South Webster, also a candidate for the new 8th District. A couple of things. I'll save my comments in regards to the committees for the meeting that's going to be held soon. My question, though, for today is, we allowed the state police to use the Riverwalk Hotel to do some training today, and I was just wondering, I know that there was some damage done to windows at the Riverwalk that had to be repaired. Did we charge the state police for using the Riverwalk Hotel for their training today? And will they can we recoup the money that was involved in replacing the window? Thank you.
Any other public comment? Any other public comment? Public comments now closed. We've now arrived at commissioner comments. Commissioner Duckham?
Please tell me we didn't replace that window at a building that's coming down. Thank you.
Commissioner Alexander?
Thank you. I would just like to inform the public that the Great Start Collaborative of Jackson County would invite all Jackson County residents to enroll any child from birth to age 5 in their program, Imagination Library, to receive a free book. There are age-appropriate books that are sent to children, again, in Jackson County, from birth to age 5, throughout the course of that child's life, up to age 5. It's a locally funded and operated program. The registered child at birth will have a library of 60 quality books upon entering kindergarten. Registration takes place online at greatstartjackson.org, Imagination Library, or at any of the 13 branches of Jackson District Library. Thank you.
Any other commissioner comments? Seeing none, we have no closed session. We are adjourned.